Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Shogun 2 Fall of the Samurai, and I can really start to feel that the brand's AI changes have really started to kick in. Sometimes people have sort of, maybe I don't think you've put him in right, they might be different, they're wrong, something. But here I can definitely tell that the AI has gone a lot more aggressive. We've got two full stacks from the clan that holds land just in Kyoto around there. And we got the Obamas gathering up a hell of an army right here. A huge army there. And, what's this clan? I don't think we have ever seen this one before, or maybe we have. This clan, the Morioka, has turned up with two full stacks. However, they go ahead and bypass this. It's quite a lucrative town as well. 6,000 is quite a lot. This one's only 3,000. Might be because the kiln's on fire. Oh yeah, this shit army is still moving around. We still have those that were landed and beaten, and they're still wandering around the countryside. We've got this one, which has been ravaged by winter to the point where it's hardly an army left. And this one as well, which I've actually bombarded quite a bit to make it even more puny. And in Bizen, the firing range was ready. So at this point, you see, look at that, exceptional accuracy, a gold symbol. So this volunteer unit has increased accuracy to probably increased it by at least 30 points or something like that. We can see that one is 25... maybe even more, maybe 40 or 35 probably increase to that. And this one, which is kind of an elite unit, has 80 in accuracy. Normal line infantry 60. Normally they have about, I guess, 25, 30. So it's increased a lot for a lot of these guys. And once I get the gunsmith up and running as well, we'll add to those points by another 20 plus accuracy. Now that has to be built on, I imagine, on top of what it already gives, which is, I think, 10. So it'll get another 10, so elite units will have 90 accuracy. I've started to clean out the seas a bit better, but at the same time, I've been unable to stop a fleet here, bringing in a small army, and there was another one which I was unable to force away. A lot because my finances were put against other things, so I haven't been able to properly repair the navy. But with that said, I got this rather strange quest. I've completed it now, but we can't see it either. No, Imperial Champion. Oh, that. Yeah, well, that's not important. But I got a quest. Murder one of the Obama Vanguard characters. And all like businesses, every town is gonna increase. I think we can, maybe, you know what, maybe we can see it actually. I think we should be able to see it here. Inspiring endeavor. 50% to wealth generated by buildings across all provinces for 12 turns, so a year, just for for assassinating one of their characters. The wealth generated is upped by 50%, a major thing just for assassinating. And so my assassin did the job which he had a 95% chance of success, and boom, Bob goes your one goal, and I've got tons of cash, as we can see down here. 11,000, almost 12,000. But as we say, we really need that kind of cash because they're bringing in full stacks by full stacks. And this episode, I'm looking towards attacking out of this castle towards these two armies, because I don't really like the sieges. And then up here, I should also mention that because of the difficulty with the navy, the British army hasn't got any further than over here, where the navy has picked them up. And since the railroad line is kind of unreliable and keeps breaking down because they land and destroy it, I've elected to move them by boat, and we'll land them somewhere here and they can go down, capture this province, which still I imagine is the richest province in Japan currently. And I imagine a lot is because of the fact that it has the mulberry trees. Same with this province. So capturing the mulberry trees will really do a number on our economics. Anyways, I think we'll go ahead and start with the battle right here. We got a faction leader with his troops, and he will go ahead and strike this army, or maybe this one. I'm not entirely sure. Either way, there's an enemy full stack coming in to reinforce. I think we'll actually go for this one, because he seems like he's not going anywhere. I think the other one might retreat. Okay, so he doesn't get reinforced. It might be because he's hiding in the forest, but he's not getting reinforced. We are instead getting reinforced, so kind of disappointing there actually, because I was hoping to beat both of them in one battle. Anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and fight this battle. And here we are on the battlefield. We can see my army over to the left, and we see this quite interesting feature in the middle of the battlefield, a temple. We've got a village over here, but I don't think it actually... Oh, it is actually on the map. Sort of half the village. But otherwise, it's just this green, rolling landscape. Let's go back so we can see what I've done. We've got all the specialist troops, so there are 150 units, which kind of elite troops, I guess. Which I've placed along here behind a lot of cannons, and then we've got line infantry here behind even more cannons, because as we captured guns all the bloody time, and I have unfortunately lost some of my line infantry. And then I placed the cavalry in the center. Right, let's go ahead and start the battle.
We attack.
So right off the bat, not all cannons are able to fire, but some are. This one and this one. But I imagine if I tell them to fire shrapnel, yes, when I tell them to fire shrapnel, then they will be able to target the enemy. Oh, here comes a massive battery, and we looked at just the right position. Completely, utterly destroys this battery, or at least its crews. All the cannons are still operational though. The enemy seems to be going toward the right side, where I had placed my line infantry to advance. Ah no, it's the recruits that have come from the castle town that was stationed there. Right, I want the line infantry to start advancing there, because they need to support that, and these guys need to advance as well. And the cavalry could see about advancing towards that hill. General needs to be over there. Now, one of the new things that I've been able to do by research is I've researched kneeled fire, which means that it basically overturns the fire by rank. So what we can do is we can click that. First rank should be kneeling, or maybe they will be kneeling once the enemy gets closer. Now both ranks will be firing, and they will be firing at will at the enemy. Oh, they're actually hiding behind the temple here. This unit's getting hit. This cannon. Oh, they're trying to move it. I guess they don't have enough people to kind of move it. Let's go ahead and tell these guys to fire shrapnel once more, and this one will fire shrapnel as well. Cavalry has moved up ahead. Looks like the enemy might... Oh, that was our shots. I thought maybe the enemy was firing towards my cavalry. These cannons, if unlimbered, could possibly fire. Continue to blast this cannon crew here. Oh, the cannon shots are going over and towards there. Okay, so the enemy is advancing now. We're gonna pull back the cavalry. We're gonna straighten out the lines because the enemy is closing in. And then I think Neil fire is probably better than fire by rank. The problem with Neil fire is once you enable it, you can't move it unless you unenable it. So it's a bit of tricky, a little tricky with the micromanagement. So the lines are drawn. This unit is opening fire. The sharpshooters. Perfect target, I think, because the enemy army is moving away. So I'm going to move the cavalry around and try to take them on. Now the enemy is moving its entire army, exposing its flank to us. So we're going to charge up real close and attack them. And I'm going to tell the battery as well to shell them with canister. We're moving up the lines. Move quickly across the field. I mean, when you play this, you can really see that a game like this, like Fall of the Samurai, but set in the American Civil War, would be so bloody awesome. And I can't believe they haven't thought about that yet. Let's go ahead. Front rank kneeling. We'll take a look at how that looks. But they're able to put down a massive amount of shot on the enemy. Okay, the enemy is advancing towards us. Are those ninjas? I do believe that those are ninjas coming at us. And once again, those bloody ninjas that the shogunate likes to use really need to pay off whoever the ninja lord is or whatever. Let's move forwards quickly so I can use the gun battery ability, and we're going to inspire the unit that is most unset by ninjas, which is the one on the flank. Then we're going to go gun battery, and then I'm going to head a bit back again. Now these guys aren't really able to shoot anything, and those sharpshooters have still been able to shoot at us, so we can advance the troops a bit. Lines are holding for now. We're gonna detach these three to come like so, while you... I wonder if you can actually go inside the building. No, you can't. Right, cavalry, I want you guys to charge. Yarikachi moving in, trying to flank this unit, which is actually in kind of a difficulty here, so I'm gonna move up the general to help. So they move the Yarikachi into the flank, but they have failed to give them the order to charge in. And now we've got two line infantry units. Neil firing, putting an amazing amount of bullets down range and destroying the unit. I'm gonna pull back this unit because it's lost a lot of men. But before we pull it back, I'm gonna tell them to use the second wind ability. And then they're going to cover the hole that was created here. General's going to pull back a bit, and he's going to hold his fire because, well, there's a risk of him shooting our troops. And I need a barrage of shrapnel at the enemy. For some reason, not everyone's firing here. These units on this side is not firing. I'll tell them to stop, move, and then fire again. Tell these guys to stop. I'm gonna move them a bit. I'm gonna tell them to fire again. Oh, this unit's lost quite a lot as well. I'm gonna pull this one back. Tell them to leave their formation, pull back. General, pull back. Now, he'll fire on these guys. The Yariki has been able to kill the enemy and is gonna pull up behind there. This line infantry is gonna march past by the enemy position. The enemy is falling apart all over the place. We're gonna set one to chasing down the enemy and the other one to smash into the rear of this line infantry that is moving up towards our line. For the Emperor! Banzai! And they break as soon as we contact, I thought. It looked like it, or it sounded like it. and the unit is entirely engulfed in our cavalrymen. And there we go, they're broken. Right, I want you guys to continue to chase the enemy. The lines continue their fire, and just as we see here, the shots come in, the cannon shots roar up ahead and blast the enemy to pieces. We're gonna tell the cavalry to continue their charge. I'm gonna tell these guys to hold fire. I'm gonna move out of this formation. I guess they get tired from being in the formation. So you gotta keep that in mind. Which seems strange, but I think it's a balancer. It's a bit of a balancer because it's there needs to be some drawback to having just this great amount of fire being put down on the enemy. Now, it might be there's different, I guess, situations where you could use the toggle rank, fire by rank, and the kneel fire, because basically what they've done here is they've given you the opportunity to either go for the consistent volleys, or if it needed, you could go to the rank or the kneel fire ability, as it's called in this, and just unleash as many bullets as you need to, in case, say, well, there's a number of reasons you might want to do that. So at longer ranges, in longer fights, it might be better to have the rank fire ability to fire. But say cavalry coming charging on something, you wait real close and then you tell everyone to just push as much fire as possible down upon the enemy. And also, if you get really close, I can imagine being able to unleash as much lead as possible at as fast as possible is an advantage to then starting doing volleys at close range. Ride them down. We don't want this army to survive after this battle, so I really want it completely gone once we have won here. Well, we have already won, but just gonna kill a few more men. Looks like we are, well, looks like we are victorious. We are victorious. And it's time to end the battle. Decisive victory. Let's save it as, what term are we on now? I think we're 30. The 30th battle, maybe? Not really, because I've had some battles off camera that usually is just boring battles that no one really wants to see. Normally, I should have actually cut this part out in my new format, or to save time, but since I'm continuing to talking through this, I guess we'll push through this. So we lost about 500 men, while the enemy lost their entire army. And the faction leader gets what he really wants, which is these symbols of great battles, which so far mostly has gone to Saigo Takamori, which have left the faction leader without them. And I was in earlier episodes talking a bit about if you role played a bit of a power struggle in between them, well, maybe not a power struggle, but a prestige, and and that, you know, loss of prestige on one hand for either character could lead to an unbalance. So maybe Saigo Takamori would get more achievements afterwards because he did the most during the war, and then would leave the daimyo without as much. Right, so I think this one, however, this one's going to be a real big battle. Yes, we're going to have two armies attacking us, and or well, we're attacking, but there are two enemy armies right here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take on this new enemy and drive our forces into Kyoto. Once again, onto the battlefield. Kind of an uninspiring army because it's all line infantry and then some cannons. Although we do have captured parrot guns in this army, which is very good because they've got long range and they're very accurate. Anyways, let's go ahead and take on the greater numbers of the enemy force. Holy shit, I just looked at the map and I saw how many cannons the enemy has. Luckily for me, it seems as though, yes, they're out of range. How lovely. Then we'll blast them with a bit of shrapnel. Oh, the enemy army, the second one, is coming up right behind them. And they've got even more cannons. It's mostly Napoleons then, and the light gun. The enemy really likes the light gun, and they really want a lot of them. Right, we're not going to advance our infantry because, well, that would be kind of stupid and unnecessary since the enemy is just sitting there. What we need to do is reduce the amount of artillery the enemy has before we are able to advance upon them. I really want my cannons to focus in and target the enemy cannons. We're gonna wait here. Ah, we've got shrapnel. Shrapnel these two. Then we got a bit of telegraph pole line. Oh, it actually line is broken here in a magical way. The strange line of Japan. But we've got a line going through, so I'm guessing we could actually communicate in a way. You know, you put a string in a can and you say, "Hello, you stupid idiots! Your cannons do not. We do not fear your cannons because we outrange you." And they go, "Oh, well, that's not fair. Well, warfare isn't fair. Go ahead and die already, you silly bastards." And I really want to destroy the cannon so I can advance here. We've got some Chimsagana. It's all Chimsagana. Or Chimsaguni. Chimsenguni. It's all those kinds of... And then we've got some spear troops. Reinforcement army brings mostly spears as well. And Chimsagana. Chimsenguni. That seems like... oh, one conscript unit, so they got something interesting. They got some recruits here. Pushing a lot of fire into here, but still we're not able to dislodge their artillery as of yet. Given these tight formations the enemy is moving up in, our shrapnel should do wonders. Ah, this cannon crew has really been cleaned off. This one not so much, although they're at minimum for most of these. Oh, at this point, yeah, this one's retreating. Then we can focus in on these and see about getting rid of them. The enemy artillery is actually marching up towards us. Can we go ahead and destroy these enemy artillery pieces already? The entire video is just me shooting at enemy artillery. Once this piece is done, I think we can advance. We can hit this one because it's unlimbered, or it hasn't unlimbered yet, which means that it's quite easy to destroy those. So target those. You know what I can do? People always like when I go in and I take control. Oh Jesus. Okay, so I thought I was gonna have to aim higher, but I actually need to aim lower. Well, aim lower. So I'm guessing on the third there. And still not enough. I'm gonna have to go down from the third to the fourth. Ooh, the fourth. I need to go in between. In between the third and the fourth. So right about there, I'm guessing. Ooh, it's going in and ooh, perfect strike right on the cannon, and it destroyed it. We're gonna put another shot right there again. Oh, this time the general and his crew, his motley crew of bastardly samurai, boom, overshot that. We need to go a little bit lower and a little bit more to the side. Ooh, still overshot there. A little bit more down to the side and a little bit. Oh, I think maybe I need to go up a bit. Maybe just a little bit. And kaboom! Oh wait, the enemy is advancing? Yes, they are. They're advancing en masse. Cannons. I need a salvo of shrapnel. Then the line infantry needs to move up ahead of the army. You know what? I see a problem on this side. You see the ridge? We had a problem like this before. So the 3 units that are 4 units actually that are advancing towards this ridge. Ninjas. Interesting. Right. So these units will pull back a bit, and they will be more like that. Then the guys on the side, they will have the kneel firing. We've got the sharpshooters here. The sharpshooters can take up this spot right here. And then the rest of the guys in line here. You know what? We have a possibility. I'm gonna move this one, try to hide it in the forest, and then sneak it up against the enemy as they get closer. A lot of troops are coming up here. These guys back here, since I imagine the ninjas are gonna come at us. You know what? Pull these 2 back, form them into a square. These will go for kneel fire. Right, everyone's starting to fire. Kind of cool how it looks like a few of them were doing sort of like ripple fire. The general needs to come up because holy shit, the enemy's going Chimsuguna Banzai charge along our entire line. Shit. Everyone kneel fire. The enemy is way too close. Everyone needs to fire right now. I'm gonna inspire the center. Holy shit, the amount of fire we need to lay down upon these guys before they start to banzai charge us. Come on then! Get loaded! Oh, the enemy's gonna they're gonna start shooting, and they're gonna let the levy infantry, the peasants, the spear peasants, they're gonna let them charge in. Holy shit. I have no reserves to protect the center. The skirmishers are falling back. You guys form square already. Right, this flank is actually kind of not doing anything. Guys, pull up. Pull up on the flank. I want the flank side. The problem we have is over here. These guys, though, are being able to shoot into the flank. This down to 100, 125, 138. The general needs to be right here ready to support his troops. Can we just get rid of this one? Halt right here. Kneel rank fire. Move like that. Then you will kneel rank and you will move up behind and kneel rank fire into that. General needs to pull back because the enemy is pushing up very hard here. The squares are doing their work on the ninja. Oh, it's ninjas with guns together with the cavalry that's trying to sneak around, but the two squares hopefully are holding there. I'm gonna pull back this unit. This one's coming into line. These two are gonna come in support here. Kneel rank fire. General pull back even further. I want shrapnel. The squares are holding. once in line. I want you all to fire as much as possible. We'll put you here. We're gonna put you there. I'm not entirely sure if we lost any units there in the center. This one needs to pull back. Damn it. General is under attack. He needs to pull back. How's it going? One of the squares have been attacked. Oh, they've shot fire arrows at it as well? Who's shooting fire arrows? Seems like the square was able to hold them off. But there's gonna be hard continuing that fight. Right, the main enemy force has been defeated. I'm surprised they didn't actually use the Shimsugune to push in closer. And once in close, okay, we've got some ninja guys coming up behind. Oh, wrong unit. I wanted the general. The general can ride and take those guys on. We've got some enemies retreating there. You can't really see how many they are, but I imagine at this point there can't be that many left. Squares are holding.
Their general has fallen.
The enemy general has fallen. The only unit that's left is this one beyond the square, which has oh, it has mountain ninjas. That was what the bow fire came from. And they were shot down and broken down. So we were victorious on this mighty battlefield. Victory is ours. Let's go ahead and end the battle. Decisive victory. This would be battle 31. Let's go ahead and end it. A very good victory. We marched out of the castle and we defeated this army of nearly 4,000 men that were coming on to us. Only 470 survived that. So the new tactics of kneel rank firing has proven very useful. And the enemy's sort of plan of just marching straight forward is not very good. And we captured one of their light guns. Great. Ah, and he gained rank. Very nice. Did he? Ooh, a trainer. Morale. Rikishi. Rikishi is a title, or what they call the sumo wrestlers. I did that because I've got an app on my phone where I do what's it called? You answer questions about stuff, and I was in Japan and you had to answer a lot of questions about the Rikishi or the sumo wrestlers. Did I even say sumo wrestlers there? Reinforcements can be drawn from further afield. That's interesting. Or morale. Morale or draw telegraph. Oh, well, there was telegraph poles on the field right here, so he could have interesting. So I think the Rikishi would probably be better, but we're gonna take the telegraph because that sort of fits in with the story of this guy. And let's see, speed of units and number of men in the bodyguard. Very nice. He's got one more point, but I guess we could charge down. But the thing is, some of these units are very low, and I imagine the AI would be stupid enough to get them killed. We do have one. Oh, yes, it was not for these guys. It was for the Obamas. Right, so we've got our 2 battles done. And yes, that's about it. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye!